Hey, it's Sri here, and in today's video I'm going to talk you through 3 really important steps that you need to take if you're trying to heal from infidelity. Now, being someone who specializes in helping women to recover from infidelity and to be able to save their marriages as well through that process, I know the amount of pain that it creates when you're on the receiving end. I've been there myself, so I understand how much it affects the very core of who you are. And my heart goes out to you, it really does, because I know that every single day it's going to be bringing up these intense emotions for you. And I want you to know that you're not alone. I'm here to help you. If you're needing some assistance and some guidance on your journey, then I'd love to connect with you just so I can learn a little bit more about where you are now and where you want to get to, and how we can kind of bridge that gap as well, and how I can help you through this journey. So if you are needing some guidance and some help, I recommend you do is in the description section below, just click on that link which just says book a call with me. Just click on that link, choose a time that works for you, and I'll contact you at that scheduled time just to see if I can help in any particular way. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below so every week you get access to my latest videos teaching you about recovering from infidelity, how to learn more about male psychology as well, and understanding the male mind at a deep level, and what you can do to be able to save your marriage through those really difficult times as well. As I mentioned, infidelity is just such an extremely difficult experience to have to go through because it affects the very core of who you are. It makes you feel unloved, not good enough, feeling rejected, abandoned, and so on. And when you're going through such a difficult time, the initial stages is going to be that you're going to want to talk about it with your friends and your family. You're going to want to share those stories with other people who are having to go through it, other survivors and so on, so that you're able to try and navigate your way through a really difficult situation. And that's understandable because you're in so much pain. But one thing we have to remember is that there's a real difference between that initial stage where it's almost the shock of it and the uncertainty of the impact on the family and so on, towards the other stage where we've actually really got to do the healing. And I wanted to shoot this video because I wanted to walk you through 3 really important steps you need to take if you're at this stage over here where you're wanting to actually do the healing work, because I think that that's really what's so important on this journey. So once you've got through that initial kind of shock of the situation and you've tried to address the immediate circumstances, which is the marriage and your family and so on, then what happens is you then start to gain that strength and that courage to say, you know what, I need to actually go through and do some healing work on the inside as well. And so this video is really for individuals who are at that place and are genuinely wanting to heal themselves. Now, it's not a perfect science in the sense that some people in the early stages of having to deal with infidelity are very much like, you know what, I've got to heal within me. I've got to do that stuff first. Other people are just very much like, no, I've got to save my marriage. I have to save my family, etc. And they're not really at that point where they want to do the internal work and the deep dive into themselves. So it's not about saying one camp is right or wrong. It's just about saying that if you are in this place and you want to do some healing on the inside, this video is for you. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to talk you through 3 really, really important points that you need to start applying as soon as you possibly can in order to create the healing that you need to from the infidelity, and ultimately provide you with the courage and the confidence to be able to make a decision about whether to stay and work on it or walk away in an elegant way. Now, the first point is to make sure that you don't resort to your shell. Now, what happens when a turtle is in danger? It immediately retracts its head and goes into its shell. Now, I get it, okay? I understand that when you're in those moments and you're dealing with a lot of pain, it's so normal to want to hide, to want to run. And the reason is because we get into what we call a fight, flight, or freeze mode. When there's any danger, and our brain literally perceives these experiences as actual danger and potentially a threat to its survival. And so what it does is says, all right, well, how can I protect you? Well, I need to protect you by either running from this situation because I can't handle the pain anymore. I'm going to just fight like crazy and push and push and push until I get what I want. And that's for some people that operate like that. And the other one is that they just start to freeze and they don't know what to do and they're almost paralyzed. What I observe quite a lot is that individuals will tend to want to run away from having to confront their challenges. When you actually do the work, it's actually not as scary as you might think, but the thought of doing the work is often a lot worse than the actual work that you need to do yourself. So what happens is when it comes to confronting some of your own emotional challenges or wounds and so on, what people do is it becomes a little bit too scary, so they run. So I really wanted to encourage you that even in those difficult times, even in those moments where you're scared and you're not sure what to do and you don't know what steps to take, do your best to not run away. Do your best to ensure that you don't hide back and go into your shell. Because if you go into your shell, then all that's doing is it's delaying the inevitable, and it's not allowing yourself to actually grow in any particular way. And once again, my heart goes out to you because it's not easy. But if you can find the courage to still do the work, do the things that you need to do, to face up to the challenges, to ask questions, to reach out to the people that you know that you can get advice from, and to have the courage and the strength to do that, it makes an ocean of difference. And I promise you, just those little things over and over and over will make a big, big difference. So that's the first point I want to make. Now the second point I want to make when you're going through a really difficult time healing yourself is to beware the saboteur. See, the saboteur is that part of ourselves that tries to keep us staying and living in fear. It wants to protect us from potential dangers. The issue is the saboteur doesn't quite understand what's best for us and what's not good for us. It's just looking out for any potential danger. Let's say you're in your work and you've been really looking for that promotion, you want to get up the ranks and you really want to climb the ladder and so forth. And then an opportunity comes to take on maybe a new project or a new assignment of some sort. And what happens? The brain starts going, uh-oh, danger, danger, beware, beware. And because of that, you'll find a way to sabotage your ability to move forward. Because it thinks that moving into that new job might lead you to feeling like, oh my God, am I good enough for it? Or some sort of imposter syndrome of some sort, and it holds you back. So what it's saying is there's a potential danger for that. So I'm going to hold myself back and I'm going to sabotage you from actually going down that path. It's fascinating how it works. And the same goes for your own healing. You see, when we're going through a lot of pain, if we have a tendency to have gone through a lot of pain, especially over a long period of time, and our lives have always been pain all the time, and you've always had that negativity, and that tends to be almost like a center of gravity for you, what's going to happen is consciously you're going to say, yeah, I really want to be happy. Yeah, I truly want to heal. But then when the moment comes when there's an opportunity, you hold back. You'll prevent yourself from doing it. You'll run away. There's lots of different patterns that we run, and this is all because of the saboteur. You have to be careful and beware the saboteur. And it has played and wreaked havoc in my life so many times. When it came to decisions around my career, when it came to actually in my career, when I first started my coaching work, I was sabotaging my success all the time. We have to be careful of it. And I see it regularly in marriages. People have an opportunity to heal their marriage, but also heal themselves, and they don't do the things that they need to because they genuinely are concerned that if they were to be happy, then that would almost take them away from who they are. So what happens is we stay stuck. And even though it's an uncomfortable feeling, it's familiar, it's common. I remember asking a question to my client. I said, what would happen if you just dropped all of this negativity now and just became happy? And she said, but then who would I be? And that is the saboteur in action. We've got to be so careful. We've got to stand guard at the door of our mind when it comes to these thoughts. Because what will happen is if you keep operating like that, you will sabotage all aspects of your life, and it's not going to be a fun place for you to be. So be really, really mindful and very, very careful about the saboteur. You can absolutely start to quieten those voices and to find joy and find happiness, but we've got to be aware of those patterns first. Just in the comment section below, just let me know, how does the saboteur play out in your life? Just write your comments below and I'll make sure I respond to every single one of you. And the third point that you need to make sure you apply is to make sure you heal your deepest wounds. You know, I've talked a lot about really healing at the deeper level in lots of videos of mine, and you know, I keep coming back to these points because that's where the real magic happens. When you actually heal from within, that's when your external life starts to become a mirror for what's going on internally. Equally, when you're in a really, really bad place, your external world tends to reflect that, either because you manifest those experiences, or those experiences you find no joy and no happiness in it at all, because you've trained your brain to never look at the things that are really beneficial in your life or that you're grateful for, and so on. You've got to heal those deeper wounds. Now, in my experience, what I tend to find are a lot of the deeper wounds for a lot of the female clients that I work with are feeling like they're inadequate, not feeling like they're good enough, feeling insignificant, feeling rejected, feeling abandoned. Those are typically a lot of the key deeper wounds. Yes, at a higher level, there are other wounds that play out, but at the deepest level, that's what a lot of people have to deal with. And that's what needs to be healed. And I'm telling you now, as someone who's had to go through a lot of this stuff myself, when you heal those deeper wounds, that's when a lot of the magic really, really comes about. And when you heal those, it is amazing what happens. It's incredible the shifts that can occur. And that's what I really want for you. I want you to heal, because once you heal from within, that's where so much of the transformation comes from. You find joy, you find happiness, and then wonderful experiences tend to come about as well. You know, I remember working with a client a couple of years ago who was in such a dark place, and she was on the verge of a divorce. Her husband had basically left her, and to be frank, it probably wasn't a very good fit for her. Now she's in the most remarkable place, and she's actually ended up with another man who has just lit up her life with so much happiness and so much joy. And that's come about because she was so passionate and so focused on her own healing. You know, when we had our initial call, it was just, I've got to do this. I have to embark on this journey. I have to heal, because it's not an option anymore. It's a must. You've got to heal. Whatever the way that you do that, if that means you go and get a coach, or if that's, you know, the strategies that you need to employ and you do that regularly, or, you know, you go and speak to your local counselor or therapist, or if you potentially want to be a part of my program as well, you know, I'd highly encourage you to do the work. It's so, so crucial. And when you do it, I promise you, there'll be no looking back. You will find such peace and such happiness. And I know that when you're in those moments of pain, it just feels like a lost cause and that you're not going to get out of it. But I'm telling you now, you have the ability to be able to do that. I promise you, it is remarkable the shifts that can occur when you actually do a lot of the deeper healing. And I want you to know that I am here for you. I'm here to serve you in the best way that I possibly can. And I do that through my program, the Authentic Relationship System, which is an incredible program filled with the best tools and strategies that are out there, as well as an incredibly supportive community who can help you and guide you and support you, and that you can really feel a sense of camaraderie and a sense of connection with these amazing ladies who are also going through some difficult times as well. And that's what I'd love you to be a part of as well. So, you know, if it is something that feels right for you, if you do want to sort of connect with me and my work, then I'd encourage you to just book a call with me below. You can choose a time that works for you, and then what I'll do is I'll actually contact you at that scheduled time just to see if I can help and see if it's a good fit for you. And if not, I'll make sure I give you a couple of tips and tricks and some free resources as well, just to help you on your journey and help you to move forward as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've liked it, make sure you hit the like button below. If you want to get more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button and click on that bell notification as well, so you get notified every time I post new videos. If you want to learn how my client Angie was able to save her marriage after infidelity, just click this video above. And if you want to learn how to give your husband space, just click this video above. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you in the next video.